If you've ever taken an Uber or Lyft at night, you already know the scariest part isn't the dark. It's the fact that you're getting into a stranger's car, or letting a stranger into yours, and trusting a tiny glowing screen to keep you safe, because sometimes it doesn't. Here are 4 disturbing, true Uber and Lyft night ride horror stories. The moment I knew something was wrong was when the destination pin jumped. Not like a normal reroute. I mean, my screen refreshed and the drop-off moved 3 blocks, then 5, then across the river. And the guy in my back seat whispered, like he was embarrassed, "Yeah, just follow it." So, this was last winter. I was driving nights because my hours got cut at my warehouse job, and rideshare was the fastest way to patch the hole. I drove a gray Corolla with cloth seats that always held on to the smell of whatever fast food the last passenger ate. I had this cheap phone mount from a gas station, one of those suction cup ones that pretends it's secure until the road gets bumpy. That matters, because later I kept telling myself the pin was moving because my mount was sliding. It wasn't. Anyway, it's like 1:40 a.m. Saturday, surge pricing. The map is glowing neon blue on my dash like an aquarium. I get a pickup, Mael, spelled M-A-E-L. 5-star rider, newish account, but not brand new. Pickup is outside a bar that pretends it's classy, but has sticky floors. He gets in fast, no small talk, hoodie up, hands in the pockets like he's cold. I do my usual, "How's it going?" He doesn't answer. Not rude, just absent, like his attention is somewhere else. We start driving. The destination is a townhouse neighborhood, across town. Simple. Then, 2 minutes in, my app pings. Destination updated. No big deal, people do that. Except it updated to a gas station. Then 30 seconds later, it updated again. A pharmacy this time. Then a random intersection that didn't even have a building attached to it. Just a corner. My phone mount slips a little and the screen tilts down. I push it back up with one hand. In the rearview mirror, I see Mael watching my phone, not the road. Not me, the phone. I'm thinking maybe he's drunk. Maybe he's trying to get the right address. So I go, "Hey, do you have the right drop-off? It keeps changing." He leans forward just enough that I can smell him. Not alcohol, something sharper, like cold metal, pennies on your fingers. He says very quietly, "Just keep driving. Don't stop where it says." I blink because, what? What do you mean, don't stop? And that's when the pin jumped across the river. Like my screen couldn't decide where I was taking him. My stomach did this slow sinking thing. Then I hear it. A second phone. Not mine. Not the little Bluetooth chime from the app. A cheap speaker buzz in the back seat. He's got a burner. The kind with the bright, ugly screen. And someone is talking on the other end. Muffled, fast, angry. Mael doesn't say much back. He just goes, "Yeah? 2 minutes. Then he clicks it off and tells me, "When I say pull over, you pull over, not before." That's the exact moment I realized I had done the classic mistake. I had gotten into the driver mindset where you don't want to be dramatic. You don't want to accuse someone of something. You just want the ride to be over and the money to hit your account. We're heading towards the bridge. Streets are empty. There's that late night quiet where even your turn signal sounds too loud. My mouth is dry, and I keep checking my mirror. His hands are still in his hoodie pocket. And then my app pings again. Destination updated. This time it's an apartment complex that I recognize. Not because I've dropped people off there, because the cops are there all the time. As we get closer, I see the flashing lights way ahead. Not on our street, but the complex. And Mael sits up like a dog hearing a whistle. He says, "No, no, no." He unlocks his phone, frantically taps, and the destination updates again. Now it's a dark little side street behind a closed elementary school. My heart is hammering, and I do something stupid. I try to cancel the ride. I don't know what I thought. Maybe it would kick him out of the app and then I'd have an excuse to stop at the gas station and call someone. But as soon as I reach toward my screen, Mael's voice changes. Not loud, not yelling, just sharp. "Don't." I freeze. He adds like he's explaining a simple rule. If you cancel, they'll know I'm in your car. They? Meaning who? I glanced at the street ahead. Still empty, still too quiet. And the worst part? My phone mount slips again, and the screen tilts down, and I swear for half a second I see 2 routes. Like the map is trying to guide 2 different drivers to the same place. He tells me to turn onto the school street. There's a row of parked cars that don't make sense for 2 a.m. A black SUV, engine running, headlights off. As we roll up, Mael says, "Stop right there." I stop. He doesn't get out right away. He just listens, like he's waiting for a cue. Then he opens the door and steps out, and I finally see what was in his hoodie pocket. Not a gun, a stack of IDs, like a thick deck of cards. Different faces, different names. He shuts the door and walks to the black SUV. I'm sitting there with my hands locked on the wheel, trying to decide if I should peel out or call 911, or do nothing. Then my app pings again. Destination updated. Except now, the rider's name changes too. It's not Mael anymore. It says the passenger is Daniel, with a different profile picture. Same car, same ride, different person. And before I can process that, my phone rings through the app. A rideshare call. From the rider. I didn't answer. It calls again, and again. And finally I hit accept, because I don't know what else to do. And a voice comes through, shaky and out of breath. "Hey, are you my driver? I'm outside the bar. I can't find you." I just stare at my windshield, because I'm still parked at the school. And Mael, Daniel, whoever, just got into the black SUV, which is already rolling away with no headlights. I tell the guy on the phone, I think there's a problem with the app. He goes, "What do you mean? It says you're here." Then he says something that turned my blood cold. It says, "You're still moving. Like you're driving, but you're not." I hang up, I end the ride, and I drive home without taking another passenger. The next morning, I check my account. The ride is gone from my history. Not canceled or completed. Gone. But in my trunk, because I'd been too freaked out to clean my car that night, I found something wedged behind the spare tire cover. A single ID card. Not a driver's license. A hospital visitor badge. With my own name printed on it. And a photo that wasn't me, but was close enough that, at a glance, it could be. I knew I was in trouble when my phone buzzed, and the caller ID said me. My own number, my own contact photo. And from the front seat, my Lyft driver answered his phone and said, "Yeah, I see her." Okay, I'm going to sound paranoid, I know. And I'll admit this up front. I was tired, I was cranky, and my phone was at 12% battery, so my brain was already in panic mode. It was 2:07 a.m. I'd left my friend's place after a dumb argument about nothing. The kind where you're mad, but mostly at yourself. I ordered a Lyft home. Driver's name, Shimon. That's spelled S-Z-Y-M-O-N. Like he's in a spy movie. His car smelled like citrus cleaner and those little pine tree air fresheners. The inside lights were set to this soft blue LED glow that made everything feel underwater. He's polite, normal. He says, "Good evening." I sit behind him, passenger side, because I always do. Habit. I plug my phone into a portable battery, one of those cheap ones that heats up like a hand warmer, and I watch the map. We're 2 minutes in when he gets a call. He answers on speaker, but the volume is low. He says, "Yes, I'm driving." Then, "No, I understand." I assume it's his spouse or something. Then he glances in the rear view and asks me, super casual, "You live alone?" I laugh, like an idiot, because it's such a weird question that my brain tries to make it normal. I go, my roommate's home sometimes." He nods like he's taking notes. Another call comes in. He answers again, and this time he says, "Yeah, I can see her in the mirror." I sit straight up like, "What?" Then he adds, "Phone is low, she's charging." And I swear my stomach flips, because how would the person on the phone know my battery was low? Unless he told them. Unless he was describing me. I pull my phone closer. My screen is cracked in the corner and the brightness is turned down, So I angle it and check my notifications. Nothing. No unknown Bluetooth device, no airdrop requests, nothing. We stop at a red light. He reaches over and turns his phone face down on the console, like he suddenly remembers I can see it. And right then, my phone buzzes. Incoming call. From my own number. I actually whisper, "What the?" out loud. Shaimon doesn't react. He doesn't even glance back. He just smiles a little, like someone just told him a joke. My phone keeps buzzing, and I don't answer. Then his phone rings. He answers immediately and says, "Yeah, she's not picking up." I feel my throat go tight. I taste that metallic anxiety taste, like you licked a battery. I manage to say, "Who are you talking to?" He just keeps his eye on the road and says, "Work." Just work, like that explains anything. I do the thing people do when they're scared, but I don't want to admit it. I started texting my friend, the one I just argued with. My fingers are shaking, so I typo. "Driver being weird, can you call me?" Then I remember, my phone is at 10% now, and my portable charger is barely working. The cable keeps slipping because the connector is loose. I have to hold it at an angle. My friend texts back, "Call you? Why?" And I'm about to reply when my phone buzzes again. Now it's a text from an unknown number, and it just says, "Don't make him mad." My blood runs cold. Because I haven't made a sound besides that one question. I look up. Shaimon is still driving like a normal person, but his shoulders are a little tense now. He's listening to something I can't hear. And he says very softly, almost to himself, "Please, just be quiet," like he's talking to someone else. Or he's talking to me without turning around. We're supposed to take the next right. My neighborhood is only 5 minutes away. But he doesn't turn. He keeps going straight. The GPS voice chirps, "Make a U-turn when possible." Shaimon taps the screen and mutes it. I say, "Hey, this is the wrong way." He nods, still calm. I know. I laugh again, this awful scared laugh. "You know, and you're doing it anyway?" He finally looks at me in the mirror. His eyes are tired. Not evil, not crazy, just tired. He says, "They changed it." Who changed it? Changed what? He doesn't answer. My phone buzzes. Unknown number again. If you scream, he'll stop. We pull into a parking garage. Not mine. Not even close. Concrete pillars, flickering lights. It's the kind of place that makes every sound echo too much. Shaimon stops near the back where the cameras usually don't reach. He puts the car in park, and he says in a voice that sounds like he's trying not to cry, "Please, get out." I stare at him, because if this is a kidnapping, it's the weirdest one ever. I clutch my keys between my fingers like they teach you, even though I know that's basically useless. I whisper, "No." He closes his eyes for a second. Then his phone rings. He answers, and he says, "She won't." Then after a pause, "Yes." He unlocks the doors. Mine clicks open, and I do it. I fling the door open and bolt, because I'd rather run in a parking garage than sit in that car 1 second longer. My phone almost slips out of my hand. As I run, my phone buzzes one more time. A call. From Ruya. That's a contact in my phone. Weird spelling with the umlaut. It's my cousin's name, but I haven't spoken to her in months. I answer without thinking and whisper, "Hello?" And a voice, my cousin's voice, says, "Why are you in my car?" I stop so hard I almost fall. Because Ruya lives 3 states away. Then she adds, "I got a ride receipt. It says I picked up a passenger, and it's your name. It's your address." Behind me, Shaimon's car is still idling. He hasn't moved. He's just sitting there with his head down, like he's waiting for permission to leave. I ran out of that garage and didn't stop until I hit a 24-hour diner with bright windows and too many people. My hands were shaking so badly I couldn't even drink water. Later, Lyft support told me that my trip ended normally, with no issues or detours. But here's the thing I can't explain. 2 days after that, I opened my Lyft app to order a ride. And for a split second, before the screen refreshed, I saw my profile picture listed under driver. I drive part-time. I'm the boring type. I keep receipts, I track mileage, I clean my back seat every Sunday like it's a ritual. This happened in early spring. Cold rain, the kind that makes the road look oily. I picked up at the airport. These rides are usually easy money. Passenger name, Anselm. That name feels old, right? Like a monk. He's mid-30s, neat haircut, wearing a blazer that's too thin for the weather. He's holding a small rolling suitcase and a paper coffee cup, but it's empty. He gets in and says hello. I say, hey, how's it going? He says, fine. Normal. Destination is a hotel downtown. 2 minutes onto the highway, he says, can we make a stop? I always hesitate because stops can mean trouble. But he adds quickly, I'll tip in cash. Cash tips are rare. People promise them and don't deliver. I say, where's the stop? He says, on the way. Storage unit. I glance in the mirror. Storage unit? Yes, he says, like I'm the weird one for asking. We exit. Rain taps my windshield like nails. The route takes us to an industrial strip. Warehouses, auto shops, closed lots. No other cars. The storage facility comes into view, and it's wrong. The office lights are off, but the gate is open. Not broken open. Open like someone hit the button and held it. I slow down. My brain says don't go in. Anselm says, just inside, row C. I should have refused, and that's the truth. But I didn't because I was thinking about the money, and because I didn't want conflict, and because I told myself I'm being dramatic. We roll through the gate. The headlights sweep over hundreds of metal doors. Everything looks the same. He directs me like he's been here 1,000 times. Left, right, slow. We stop at row C, unit 114. There's a padlock hanging open already. He gets out and says, wait here. I nod, but my hands tighten on the wheel. Because as he opens the unit, my headlights catch something inside. Not furniture or boxes. A wall of phones. Dozens of them, maybe more. All stacked, charging, screens dark, like a little sleeping army. Anselm sees me staring. He steps between me and the unit, blocking my view, and says, please don't look. His voice is still calm, still polite, which makes it worse. He reaches inside and grabs one phone from the pile. Then he pauses. He looks at it like he's checking something. And he says, almost annoyed, it's already active. Then he turns back towards my car and asks, what's your phone number? I laugh because I'm nervous. What? He repeats it, your phone number. I say, no, why would you need that? He stares at me for a long second. Then he says, okay. Just, okay, like he'll get it some other way. He gets back in my car and says, drive. I pull away and I'm trying to stay calm, trying to act normal, like this is just a weird business thing. He sits behind me and starts tapping on the phone he grabbed. A few seconds later, my driver app glitches. It flashes black, then comes back, and I get a notification, new login detected. My heart stutters. I say, did you do something to my account? He doesn't answer. He just says, keep driving. We get back on the main road. My app starts doing this strange thing where it keeps zooming in and out like it can't decide where we are. Then I get another request while Anselm is still in the car. That's not supposed to happen. It pings loud. Passenger pickup, 2 miles away. Passenger name? Anselm. Same profile picture, same name. I swallow hard. That's you. Anselm leans forward, and I see his reflection in the rear view, super close to mine. He says very softly, don't accept it. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. It says, you picked up the wrong Anselm. My hands go cold. I miss a turn because I'm staring at the screen too long. Anselm snaps, eyes up. First time he sounds angry. And then, like the universe wants to make it worse, a police cruiser pulls out behind us. Lights on. Not full sirens, just the, hey, pull over flashes. Anselm goes still. He says, don't stop. I whisper, I have to. He says, if you stop, they'll take me. I almost laugh because, what does that even mean? But I pull over anyway, because I'm not going to jail for some guy named Anselm in a storage unit phone pile. The officer approaches, rain dripping off of his hat brim. He asks for a license and registration, and I hand it over. He leans down and looks into the back seat. and he says, "Sir, step out of the vehicle." Anselm doesn't move. The officer repeats it, louder. Anselm finally says, calm as ever, "I'm not the one you want." The officer's face changes. Like he recognizes something, but doesn't like recognizing it. He says, "Sir, now." Anselm sighs, like he's tired of the whole situation, and he steps out. The officer walks him to the cruiser, and they talk for a while. I can't hear what they're saying. Then the officer returns to my window and hands me my license back, and he says, "You're free to go." I blink. Am I getting a ticket?" He says, "No." I say, "What did he do?" And the officer looks at me for a long moment and says, "Don't pick up airport rides for the next week." Then he walks away. I drove home shaking. The next day I checked my account. My profile picture was changed. My email was changed. My name was changed to Anselm. Support eventually fixed it. They said it was unusual activity. But here's what I can't get over. A month later, I got a ride request. Passenger name? Mine. Same spelling, same photo, same rating. Pickup location? That storage unit. Row C, Unit 114. So I didn't even know what Uber Connect was when I first got the request. Package delivery. Same app, same nonsense. It was a weeknight, raining lightly, and I was doing that thing where you tell yourself you'll stop after one more ride. I had peppermint gum, a half-dead phone charger, and a cup holder full of receipts I kept meaning to throw away. The request comes in. Pick up at a residential address. Drop off at a motel on the edge of town. Account name, Xochitl. If you don't know, that's pronounced Xochitl, spelled Xochitl. I only know because I had a coworker with that name years ago. I accept. I pull up. The porch light is on, but the house looks empty. Curtains closed. No cars in the driveway. The pickup instructions say, curb, don't knock. I wait. The timer ticks. Then I see it. A box on the curb. Like someone put out trash, but didn't want to admit it. No label, just brown tape. Too much tape. And right beside it, a phone. Not a smartphone, an older one. The screen was dark. My app pings, start delivery. So I do. Because I'm an idiot, because I'm trying to be efficient, I pick up the box. It's heavier than it should be, and warm. Not hot or steaming, just like it had been sitting against something living. The moment the box hits my passenger seat, my app glitches. It shows the route, then it flips, like someone spun the compass. Now it's sending me to the motel using a route that avoids all main roads, back roads, side streets, industrial cuts. I tell myself it's because of traffic. It's not, because there is no traffic. It's 1 a.m. and raining. Halfway there, I hear it. A vibration coming from the box. Not a phone vibrate, deeper, like someone shifting. Then a soft tapping from inside. 3 taps, pause, 2 taps, like a pattern. I actually say out loud, "Nope," and I pull over under a streetlight. Rain streaks down my windows. I stare at the box like it might bite me, and I reach for the tape, and my phone buzzes with a message through the app. Don't open it. I jerk my hand back like the screen shocked me. I type, "What's in the box?" The typing bubbles appear, then disappear, then appear again. Finally, she replies, "If you open it, you'll be part of it." I laugh once, one of those disbelief laughs. What does that even mean? I say to nobody. Then the old phone next to the box lights up. It wasn't dead. The screen turns on by itself, and it shows one word in big letters: drive. My stomach drops, because my app also updates. The drop-off isn't at the hotel anymore. It's a parking lot beside the hotel, and the note says, back entrance, no contact. So now I'm sweating, and the rain feels louder, and the whole car smells like wet cardboard. I keep driving. The tapping stops, which is somehow worse. I pull into the motel lot. It's one of those places with doors facing the parking lot. Neon sign buzzing, curtains always closed. There's a back lot with a dumpster and a flickering security light. My headlights sweep the area. Nobody. Then my app pings. Arrived. Complete delivery. But I can't complete it unless I take a photo. And I can't take a photo because I don't want to get out of the car with that box like I'm delivering whatever this is to whoever is waiting. The old phone lights up again. A new message, not through Uber. Just on the phone screen, it says, "Open trunk." I whisper, "No." And then my trunk pops. Not fully, just the latch, like someone hit a button. I didn't hit the button. My key fob is in the cup holder. I look down, and my key fob is still sitting there, and the trunk is unlatched. I'm breathing hard now. I can hear my own pulse. I put the car in drive, and I leave. I don't care about the penalty, or the rating, or the money. I just leave. As I'm pulling out, my app finally lets me complete the delivery, automatically. Like it decided the job was done. I get the payment, and then immediately I get another request. Same pickup address, name, Sochil. Same note, curb, don't knock. I decline. It pings again, decline, again, decline. Then a message pops up. You already accepted once. I go home and I don't sleep. In the morning, I check my trunk. Nothing. No box, no old phone, no tape scraps, just my spare tire and a peppermint gum wrapper stuck to the carpet. I tell myself it was a scam, a prank, maybe a glitch. Then I check my email for the receipt. And the receipt is there. Trip completed. Driver, my name. Rider, my name. Pickup, that empty house. Drop off, that motel. And in the trip details, under item delivered, there's a photo attached. A delivery confirmation photo. I never took one. It's a picture of my car. From behind, in that motel parking lot, with my trunk open. And if you zoom in on the dark space inside the trunk, you can see the corner of a cardboard box, and the faint outline of a phone screen glowing one word. Drive. If you made it this far, do me a favor. Check your rideshare receipts next time. Not just the price, check the route, check the name, and if anything looks even slightly off, don't be polite, don't be chill, don't wait to see if it gets weirder, cancel the ride. Because the scariest part of these stories is how normal they started, and how easily they could have been yours. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe. Good night.